Tips on Trading from Business Coach Pros. I have spoken to you in past about Elliott Wave. I've talked with you about Fibonacci. I've named them the vehicle and the navigator. Well, now I want to talk with you about the combination of those two together. But before I do that, I have to tell you a little bit about how this came about, okay? I'm a Forex trader who's come through a gauntlet of a school of hard knocks. I'm a survivor. I certainly wouldn't want to see anybody else have to go through all of the problems, the troubles, and the losses that I had to go through learning how to trade. I was very naive when I started trading. I believed whatever I was told out there by brokers and by companies that were doing multi-level networking trading and so forth. And there were a lot of good things I got from those things, but by and large, it was not the way to learn how to trade. I wish I had had someone I could have worked with from the beginning who already knew how to trade, who already knew the pitfalls, who understood what the true expectations were. Understand that in that trading environment, although I had to go through a great deal of challenge, of difficulty, losses, and sometimes great losses as I attempted to learn how to be a live trader, all of those experiences became tools for me. They became my teachers. They taught me how to coach, how to teach someone else what to avoid. And in the process of learning, especially once I found my own mentors and coaches that taught me what they knew already, I eventually got to a point where I learned how to start developing my own trade strategies. It's when, you've heard of when the student is finally ready, they appear. Well, I appeared, but you've also heard how that student, if they survive the gauntlet the teacher will run them through, that student one day becomes the teacher. And that's what happened to me. I finally began taking this piece and that piece and this other piece from what I had learned from other traders, other mentors who taught me. And I began to see relationships between them that they had not been teaching. And I came up with a strategy one day. In fact, I got to tell you, right at the cuff here, this strategy came because of a coach that I was teaching. I was teaching Elliott Wave, I was teaching Fibonacci and all manner of other strategies, and he wasn't satisfied. He was frustrated with me and said, "Steve, I'm a computer programmer, for heaven's sakes. I like to know that I'm going to get this result when I do this thing." And no matter how hard I tried to convince him to understand that that's not how this market works. You're not going to get 100% every time. You're going to have to take some losses sometimes. It's just the way the market is. Accept it. But he was still frustrated. And I remember after he left our coaching session that day, I sat back in my chair a little bit frustrated myself. How am I going to satisfy this coach? Is there a way to do it? And I remember, without going into some of the other details, I remember asking, isn't there some way to view the market, to see in the marketplace the most high probability scenarios that exist in the market? If I could just learn how to identify those and see them, then I could satisfy this coach. And I turned around and looked at my computer screen with that perspective in mind. And it all of a sudden just was right in front of me. I could see all over my charts. 1, 2, 3, 4, there's a spot, there's another one, there's one. Those are the highest probability moves that happen in the marketplace, and they happen every day. If I could learn how to be there when those are happening and capture that moment, I've got a 95% chance of success on that particular segment of the market. I put together a little strategy, a test. And I tested it out probably within a day or two after that, trading the pound USD. I started trading it in the late evening. I traded it, I think 12 trades over the next 48, no, it wasn't even 48 hours. It's probably a day and a half, 36 hours. Out of those 12 trades, 11 out of the 12 trades were successful. That account doubled in 36 hours. And I was amazed at how accurate that perspective was. The moment I looked at the charts from that particular perspective to identify what I saw on the screen as the highest probability trade scenario, most likely to be successful, I saw it. And then I began to incorporate it into a trade strategy. Now, since that time, it's about a year ago since I began testing that, I've written a full strategy. I call it the BBR trade strategy. Now, I'm not going to tell you what BBR stands for. Maybe sometime we can get together and talk and we'll learn more about that. But the BBR trade strategy incorporates the highest probability trade scenario that exists in the market, bar none. Since I learned that, I learned to incorporate the BBR strategy together with Elliott Wave, which I call EW for short, and Fibonacci, using certain support and resistance lines, certain combinations of indicators, and I have evolved the BBR strategy to what I call the BREW, BBREW. That BREW strategy has proven to have such incredible capabilities once a person learns to master that strategy that I hardly even dare tell you the results you can get from it. Now, at the same time, I have to be fair. This is a risky market, and if you don't trade that strategy correctly, it can take the shirt right off your back. Some traders will get to where they want to trade this with a lot loaded trade, meaning a high leverage trade. They'll trade 20, 30, 40, 50% of their account because they look at this with such a high probability. They figure, why not trade a higher percentage of my account? You can be successful with that. I've proven it. You can see it. Maybe sometime we can show you the results of that in actual trade reports. Again, I hesitate even telling you how successful it's been, but I'll give you a little bit of a taste. Since the first test I did a year ago that doubled an account in 36 hours within 11 out of 12 trades, we have since the first of this year, actually the first week of January in 2008, took $400 and turned it into $10,000 overnight. That trade strategy is capable of unbelievable results. Now, that's high leverage, lot loaded trading, and I don't recommend it to just any trader. You're going to have to be very good at what you do, very proficient, very polished as a live trader. And that was a live account, by the way, not just demo. You can trade this same BREW strategy at all different risk levels. It's a choice of a trader as far as what you feel comfortable with. I would certainly never recommend that a new trader trade at a high leverage. Even after you master this strategy in a demo account first, that strategy is one that you've got to learn starting out with a smaller amount of money in a live account. You never want to risk a large amount of money trading a live account when you're a new trader especially. You must master your skills then before you do that. The BREW strategy, however, once you master it, frankly, I don't think there exists anything in the market, nothing I've seen anywhere, that has the capabilities of growing an account more rapidly than this strategy. This is Tips on Trading. I'm Stephen Story, and maybe we'll talk more about this someday.